Ichigo awakens by Talach, chapter 85. The Rega Salta, Squad 15 barracks, with the reveal of the other Shinigami captains and lieutenants from the Garganta, accompanied by one of the Rancor of Ichigo's court and Huecomundo. Uryu immediately went on the offensive. He used the Hiranyaku to get behind the fakes and activated his Volt Stagger, firing his feathers to the legs of his opponents. The moment they made contact, however, they all popped like balloons, leaving Uryu confused. Suddenly, the fake Renji appeared behind Uryu with his Sabimaru in Shikai and ready to tear into the Quincy's back. Thanks to his wings, Uryu deflected the attack and Renji immediately attacked his double. "Oh no, you don't!" He roared, swinging his own Sabimaru, only to be stopped by the fake Shinji. The same fake was then sucker punched by Kensei and kicked in the neck by a master Mashiro, followed by a sickening crack as his neck was shattered. The features dissolved into that of a blank mannequin before turning into dust, leaving only a small red soul candy. I tried to leave at least one alive. Uryu called out as clouds of grey ash collided and Uryu was being chased by a cloud of pink. Kisuke looked at Nozomi, who disappeared. "Damn it!" He cursed, pulled out a tracker he had prepared during the time in Huecomundo. Zeiropo may have died, but his main lab was still functional. Kisuke just needed some time. He watched his scanner as it picked up all the clone versions of the Shinigami. The Byakiyas were fighting each other. Kisuke knew something about their pride being involved. The fake Hinamaru and Ryuko were already neutralized in the massive hands of the Tres Bestias, Chimeric Ion. The Rangers were fighting, both going into Bankai. The one seemed to have a vastly different one than what he saw of the 6 lieutenants' release. The Vashers had on their mask and made pretty sure to work of the remaining copies, destroying the fake Kensei and immobilizing the fake Mashiro. For some reason, neither had donned the hollow mask, which would have found quite suspicious. Lastly, he saw Uryu and the fake Toshiro were fighting. The latter was in Bankai to try and match the Quincy Volstagger. The ice not lasting long against the vibrating reishi feathers Uryu commanded him. Looks like your double ran off with Nozomi. Ishin said, trusting his comrades to win against their fakes. I've got Lisa, Chad, and Tatsuki guarding Jackie and Yuriko. So long as he's asleep, no sen came on. Should open. The shaka car was with them as Urahara kept scanning. Let's hope that applies to a naturally occurring opening to the precipitous world, he said as he finally found 2 signatures that were trying to get away from their location. "That way," he called out, moving as fast as he could with Ishin and Halibel following close behind him. It took them a minute only, but they found Nozomi bound and gagged with Kido in front of a shrine in the middle of the woods. Though they saw the girl, Urahara found the signal coming from deeper inside the woods. "Follow that signal," Kisuke ordered as he passed the tracker to Halibel, who went on ahead as he and Nishin landed in front of the girl. Urahara took out his Benihime and shot at her with a reishi wave, causing her to pop like a balloon. "I'm starting to get annoyed by these. You do know who you're fighting, right?" He figured he heard his own voice say before dodging the blade, so swing aimed at his back. "What were you?" Ishin gave the fake no time to talk before punching it, only to get another balloon pop him. "Why did you make those portable guy?" Ishin roared, getting just as annoyed. Half a dozen Kisuke copies appeared, the 2 Soul Reapers going back to back to cover blind spots and to stay near the original Kisuke. The air was filled with pop after pop as the 2 fought off the fakes, soon getting caught in the middle of a tornado of blue light that destroyed the rest. When it dissipated, the captain looked up to see Halibel and Uryu with Nozomi in hand. "Surprisingly enough, Kisuke, your double was not nearly as cautious as you," Uryu said, dropping down to the 2. "Everyone else was finishing up by the time I finished my fight with the fake Toshiro." Urahara's double set a series of keto traps around Nozomi, but he never expected me. "And you said helping Ichigo in his early prank wars with me was going to be a useless experience," Urahara said with a smile, making Nishin laugh at the memory. So Uryu had his eyes twitch in annoyance, but he had to concede the fact that they let him get the job on the fake Kisuke. "Anyway, let's get back to my shop. I've got a lot to tell you," he said as they moved to return to the base. Nozomi still tied up. "You mean my squad's barracks, Kisuke?" Ishin teased. "It's still my shop, Ishin," the former shopkeeper returned. "Is this normal?" Halibel asked Uryu, who could only groan. "My condolences." Squad 1 Barracks, Yamamoto's office, Kagerosa Inaba plans to usurp the Gotai and replace them with Rega copies with mod souls based on the ratio of the current captains and lieutenants. Maruri explained to the captain commander he had a secret lab located hidden within the Senkemon gate where he conducted his alterations of the precipice world and the creation of his Regai. More than that is his fixation with one Nozumi Kujo. According to the date, it was the date I was able to look through while downloading all of his research and findings. She seemed to be the first Matsuo. The odd thing is that it seems that he also plans to fuse with Nozomi. Do you have any theories as to why that is? Yamamoto asked, clenching his fist as yet another past problem reared its head. And any way to tell the real Shinigami from the Regai copies? I might have an idea, but I'd need to analyze the reishi from both Kagerosa and Nozomi to fully test it. Maruri responded. Plus, there is some good news in regards to the Regai, but that would depend on your point of view. Kagerosa seems to have an inability to control hollow reishi, so the copies of the visors would be without their mask and render them far weaker than otherwise. He reached into his shihakusho and pulled out Ichigo's stasis pod, placing it before Genryusei. Either he thinks Ichigo would be the key to solving that problem, or he deemed him to be that much of a threat. It was enough for him to brave going into my personal lab. And considering that Shido has yet to report his capture, we can assume that Kagerosa has gone into hiding and likely plans to unleash the full power of the Regai. Then I shall keep my students safe for the time being. Yamamoto said, taking Ichigo's pod and hiding him away. What would you say is the current threat level? Moriri took the moment to do some quick calculations before coming to his conclusion. Each Regai, while restrained, should equal the original in strength and ability. Without those restraints, I'd say that there would be a 25% increase into their abilities, minimum. He answered, earning a tired sigh from the old man. Just the ones that he did, right? Some are thankfully flawed with inaccurate data that did relieve again, you say, to some degree. And just one more thing, Captain Commander. Depending on the results of this attack, Urahara recommends the revival of Project Spearhead. Explain, Yamamoto growled, not eager to consider bringing back the project, but willing to listen to reason. The original project was shut down due to morality issues, as the Central 46 would tell us. Maruri started. The fear of the project going out of control is more likely, but as evidenced by this and one other case, some of the Matsu survived the destruction of the project. That one other case was a Matsu that found its way to Urahara and then to the Kurosaki household. That soul was devoted to the family and served as Ichigo's soul after he became a Soul Reaper. Unfortunately, when the twins were kidnapped by Aizen, the Matsu lost, was broken, and died saving its masters. There was an angry pulse from the stasis pod, as if Ichigo heard the conversation and was less than pleased with Colin Khan and it. The idea for the project revival is to help increase our numbers again, or at least to free up some Shinigami from other tasks and increase efficiency. Yamamoto drummed his fingers against the table, mulling the idea over in his head and whether the risk outweighed the possible benefits. We end this attack first, and then I will decide. The dragon finally stated. Kagerosa's base. Damn that Mayuri! Kagerosa growled before getting into another coughing fit. The nerve gas was already causing various muscle failure throughout his body and affecting his nerve system as well. He had to repeatedly use his Reiku's special displacement ability to get him to his base as fast as possible before he was rendered completely paralyzed and then die. If he had to assume he already lost his Regai Lieutenant Nanoho, Kirai Gurusuchi, and his Nemu copy to the nerf gas that the original used in his main lab. That on top of the lack of reports back from his Regai in the world of the living means he lost them as well. To finish his failed plans of the day, Ichigo Kurosaki was still out of his grasp, and who knows when he might awaken from his sleep. Master Kagerosa, the other Hinamari Regai he had called out as she rushed to his side. Are you alright, sir? You're looking terribly weak. She said, not noticing that Kakarosa tensed up in anger. Weak, looking weak, nothing truly filled him with more rage and hate than being called weak. Wait here, I'll get Hana and Isana, she said, getting ready to retrieve the Regai healers. The moment she turned her back, Kakarosa cleaved her across her back and ran her through with Raku. The Regai Hinamori turned to dust and left just her Matsu behind. With that, Kakarosa collapsed, losing the use of his body more and more. He desperately reached out for the small pill, struggling to grasp it and bring it to his mouth. Even swallowing the small ball was a challenge, but it was one that was rewarded. Reishi erupted from his being like fire until a second came separated from his body and freeing him from the toxic nerve gas. Nice try, my Yuri Kurosuchi, Kakarosa said, chuckling as he rose to his feet and ignoring the gasping pleas of the sacrificed Matsu. But I won't be beaten that easily. He looked at his Riku, grinning madly as he decided his next action. And my leg I will crush the Gotai. Squad 15 barracks, and that should just be about it. Kisuke said, finishing the last steps to connect the barracks communique to a secure line with Squad 12s, and more importantly with Mayuri. The said lieutenant's face appeared on the monitor as he finished preparation on his end. How's things going on your end? He asked as Nozomi watched, left sitting in the corner as the two scientists did their work. Kakarosa has been exposed and will likely unleash the full force of his Regai copies of the captains and lieutenants. So, if you thought that the bracelets and copies were would be a good indicator of who's real or not, we are out of luck there, Maduri reported back. On the plus side, the new nerve agent seems to be effective, and my security cameras got some details of his abilities. As for his plans, he has this fixation on Nozomi Kujo. The girl in question tensed slightly at hearing this, and though this is only a guess, I believe he intends to fuse with the girl. That seems odd, Kisuke returned. This doesn't seem to have much point to it either. The very beginning of Matsu creation is basing it off of an existing Soul Reaper, and Nozomi is the first. Then shouldn't she be based off of the first volunteer? Oko Yushima, the head of the project, was the first volunteer. Mayuri answered, remembering that most of this happened after Kisuke's exile, and I wasn't the only one based off of him. Nozomi finally said, speaking up after deciding that she had little other option than to help out. Kakarosa Inaba was the other. The two of us were made from the two halves of Yushima's personality. You could say that I'm the light to Inaba's darkness. I figured Mayuri said, happy that his theory was correct. If I had to guess, Nozomi might have something to her that Kakarosa needs in order to complete himself, or another project that Yushima made before his full mental breakdown. Nozomi turned away, not happy with being reminded of the worst memories of the original's life. On other matters, the Captain Commander is now considering the revival of Spearhead. This shocked the Matsu. He wants to end this fight with our copies before deciding, though, right? Yurihara asked. Nozomi turning back to the screen. Indeed, and Kakarosa will have to either be imprisoned or destroyed. Morita answered. I have an idea, but they rely on Nozomi's cooperation. The two turned to the girl, now slightly unsettled, with how Morita was smiling at her, spreading the word, living world. So to clarify, Halibel started. Someone else with a grudge against society has made a clone army of a majority of the top Shinigami and is using them to overthrow and conquer the society, all the while trying to capture this girl and fuse with her to revive the original mind behind the creation of monsters. The symbol the captains nodded. And I thought Aizen had a complicated plan. Apache said, somewhere between irritated and amused with the course of events. I'm surprised you actually understood that. Mila snarked at her sister, Fraction member, sparking another fight between them. How uncouth, Sun said, getting involved in the argument. You say that he seems adverse to Holoreshi, correct? The shark asked her, earning a nod from Toshiro and Kensai, while the other captains watched the fight in amusement. The course is clear. Apache, Mila, Sun, you three return to Las Noches and bring us back up. Take Nozomi Kujo with you. She's the key to the enemy's plan. She ordered, ending the fight instantly as the three wordlessly obeyed and opened the Garganta. I shall go with them to society, but know this, Soul Reapers, my king's safety is my top priority, she said, earning an understanding nod from the assembled captains and lieutenants. Lisa, you're in charge, Ichin said as he rose to to his feet. Uryu, you're coming with us. Everyone else, protect the world of the living. Here's the code to know it's us. July 17th. The squad members nodded as Haribel opened her own garganta, and the group progressed to Soul Society. This is Captain Commander Gendo Yusei Shigekuni Yamamoto. The dragon announced over a system of hellbound flights, sending his message throughout the entire Serete and to the 75th Rukon districts in Shinigami Police Territory. Extremely dangerous and powerful enemies have appeared and infiltrated the Gotai, aiming to replace our top officials. Until further notice, all but third seats, two captains are ordered to stay inside their homes or squad barracks. This curfew will end when we can confirm that the enemy of the peace are defeated. The result was as expected. All around him were the sound of outrage and panic coming from the Shinigami and the citizens' souls. Some immediately complied with the orders, but many had to be forced. Maybe he had to push it just a little bit more. I am giving Kenpachi Sodaki permission to show no mercy, and I will be participating in the coming fight as well. The public outrage turned to fear as everyone scrambled to get to safety. That might have been going a little overboard, head captain. A black cat thought as she made her way throughout the different barracks of the Gotai squads. From her findings, Ikaku and Yumichika were replaced. Isane was replaced. Kyoraku and Ukitake were replaced by their fakes. Even her precious bee was captured by Reika. She was going to have a word with her protege about keeping her guard up at all times if she was captured by these fakes. Even Kisuke prepared for his own self being an enemy in Kagerosa's base. So, war is it? He heard the announcements the captain commander made, and all he could do was laugh. If you want a war with my Reiga Yamamoto, you shall have it! He roared as his remaining Reiga in the base assembled around him. He spun his Raikou around before holding it high, letting his energy pass through the blade in a wave of yellow light. All around him, his Reiga glowed with a pale light that burned like fire to show an increase in their own reishi. This resonated with many other Reiga around the Serete that made sure they were in places of secret, unseen by their enemies. I have all I need. I do not fear anyone. Ichigo's in the world. Did you feel that? The hybrid asked, sitting in the middle of a lake with the horizontal skyscraper standing right high above him. The water itself was greatly disturbed, rippling madly and prompting Kyoka Suigetsu to crack himself on the head. What's going on out there is not important, Ichigo. The spirit scolded as Ichigo groaned in anger before settling back into his meditation. Instantly, the water began to calm, becoming perfectly still and mirror-like. Now, let's begin again. Images formed in the water, memories from Ichigo's life, all his struggles and trials, each one changing more and more into losses and nightmares. The purpose of this was for Ichigo to gain full calm and serenity in his mind. As a calm and focused mind was the key principle to mastering Kyoka Suigetsu. He was making progress, but it was slow going, and Sangetsu was occupied with cleaning and repairing his soul from hell's influences. Chances were he wasn't going to be able to help him. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Getting to last notice, a black Terran space appeared in the vast deserts of Huecamundo, spitting out a group of captains and lieutenants, Soul Reapers onto the fine deserts. The group fell in a confused heap that slowly fumbled to get up, brushing the sand off of their clothes as they did so. That was rough, Kisuke said, scanning the area for a certain castle. I forgot how little practice you guys have with Gargantas. Frankly, I'm not sure why I risked that. Kensei and several others looked ready to beat the scientist to death. Byakuya was as calm and dignified as ever. Mashiro was going on about a beach party. Now come on, let's find Las Noches. Is that why we came to Huecamundo? Shinji asked, deciding to try and calm down before attempting to kill Kisuke. What's in Las Noches? Well, unless Uryu completely destroyed it, there should still be some material from Aizen's Rankar scientist lab. Maybe find Aizen's own workspace there. Byakuya suddenly spoke up, pointing in the distance to what was a small building in the distance, almost completely unnoticeable at this distance. Maybe I should build that lighthouse Ichigo wanted. Kisuke muttered before doing some quick math in his head, then collapsing with exhaustion. In a massive desert transit system, he nearly cried after figuring out just how far from Las Noches they were. Out on car raffle. Okay, gather up everyone, Jin said, summoning the Rancor. Kisuke and his group arrived 3 hours after wandering the desert before getting taken to the prisons by Runuganga. It took another 2 for Jin to notice and actually do something about it. Since we don't have the 10 top Rancor, you can't exactly go by Spada. Knights are up for consideration, but you are not to go by caballeros. Despite being Spanish for knight, people might mistake you for the Disney bird trio. Next on the agenda, Ichigo is out of commission, and society might be under attack by copies of the top Shinigami combatants. Volunteers. He asks all 8 hands shot up. Some eager to prove themselves to their king in his absence. Others just to fight. Okay, I'm only going to allow 1. So I'm going to pull a name out of a hat. The Silver Fox said, holding up Kisuke's hat. Why did it have to be my hat? Kisuke groaned, ignoring that he was literally the only one that had a hat. Renji's new Bankai. Sabimaru. Renji stood across his Sampagdo spirit. The fur-covered woman and the albino snake kid. Chained to her, anger and betrayal in his eyes. What was that true Bankai thing? I thought I earned your Bankai a while ago. He said, a scoff from the pair. Not exactly. We've been keeping it from you because honestly, what have you actually done to deserve it? The baboon woman asked. The furthest you've gone was finally manning up and fighting for your beliefs. If Sangetsu didn't convince us, you still wouldn't have the Soul Sabimaru form. The snake admitted, shivering as he remembered the talk Sangetsu had with them. So what changed? So Soul Reaper asked them. No way in hell is a creepy knockoff copy going to beat us. The 2 responded. I don't remember having that kind of ego. End of chapter 85.